Hi, I'm T-Roll. Welcome to T-Roll Reviews. I know what you're thinking, a beard? Well, I made a personal pledge to not shave until Dave Smith Instruments, now Sequential, mails me a free Prophet X synthesizer. Well, today is day 48, so on with the reviews. The internet's all abuzz with NAMM 2019, everyone looking forward to all the new synthesizer introductions. So I bought myself a plane ticket, and now here I am. I'm in Vietnam, and I don't see any other manufacturers except for me. And so I'm basically eating pho and wondering what's going on. So I got on the web, the internet, and I see that the big buzz of the NAMM show is this Arturia Microfreak synthesizer. Well, it's supposed to be shipping in spring of 2019. Everyone's excited about it. Well, Behringer, surprisingly, ahead of the game this time. They've already come out with a clone of the Microfreak. It's called the Behringer Microfreak. And if you look down here, you can actually see Microfreak is spelled F-R-E-Q. You might remember the original Arturia synthesizer is called Microfreak, spelled F-R-E-A-K, whereas the Behringer clone is Microfreak, spelled F-R-E-Q, an apparent nod to the word frequency. One of the first things you notice about the Behringer Microfreak is that the keyboard is very thin. I mean, if you get right down there, you can see it's an incredibly thin performance keyboard. But don't mistake thin for low quality, because apparently it has polyphonic before touch, allowing it to sense the notes that you're going to play, in some cases several minutes or even hours before you play them. Yeah. Just a quick tour of the front panel. In the upper left, it's got a matrix brute, and it's got some oscillators that are actually sold as digital oscillators, apparently for using your finger digits for adjusting the oscillator controls. It's got an analogous filter. It's sort of, it's kind of like a filter, but it's more of a metaphor, I'd say. And then of course, it's got your standard cycling envelopes, which are useful when you're on a bicycle. I would have preferred to also have seen cycling oscillators and cycling filters. Maybe they'll add that in a firmware upgrade at a later date. Hopefully we can download it using digital. So let's really quickly see how it sounds. Kind of like almost like a synthesizer type tones coming off of here. I can see why they call it the Microfreak, because of the low frequencies that I'm getting off of it. It's very low frequency, and it's got some rumble also to it, which is kind of interesting. You adjust some of the oscillator controls, and you can get some real deep sounds out of the synthesizer. It's really nice. Let's take a look around the back. Yeah, so it looks a lot like a synthesizer type device on the back rear panel. Let's take a look at some of these individual controls and connections and see what they do. You're seeing a lot of the kind of the standard jacks that you'd expect to see. You got a lot of these, they're smaller in size, and I think what happened is they had a lot of these jacks left over from the Behringer Neutron, and they had a whole warehouse full of them from what I read, and it turned out it was actually cheaper to bolt them onto this new synthesizer than to pay a guy to haul them away. So that's why you're going to see a lot of these jacks on the back. So you got your standard, your pitch out, your shout out, your rock out. Those are all there. And then over here, you actually have your standard 5-pin TRS MIDI jacks. Behringer recently just announced that they're working on a clone MIDI standard. They're calling it MIDI 2.5, so apparently it's going to be very similar to MIDI 1.0, MIDI 2.0, but it's going to have even, half again additional MIDI apparently. So it's a clone. It's got USB 3.0 for connecting to an external monitor for editing as a plug-in inside your DAW. So I don't know if you can hear some of these frequencies. They're really tiny. They're really small. Frequencies, just really micro frequencies, and I could really see why they chose to name this particular device the Microfreak. So all in all, a pretty incredible job by Behringer. It's one of the best clones I've ever used. I'm actually headed to a gig right now to use this to play a long show. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. This has been T-Roll Reviews.